All right, guys, you already know what it is. I'm the host of this here channel. My name's Gaff. This is One More Round Fights. This is where we give you guys MMA and boxing tips, tricks, parlays, you know, all that shit. And we have a little special segment for you today. I wanted to save this person for the very first interview I wanted to do on this channel because I wanted to bring it full circle. This is a 5'6" former UFC ranked featherweight with a 66-inch reach. He's Puerto Rican and British American, born December 13th, 1987. He's a former Tough 14 finalist out of Lindenhurst, New York, trained out of Long Island MMA. You guys know it. I'm talking about Dennis the Menace Bermudez.
Yeah.
What's going on, Dennis? How you feeling, brother?
Yeah.
So how you doing
Born
today?
in 86.
Oh, born in 86. I got that wrong?
Yeah.
Damn.
What was it? Wikipedia's got it messed up or what?
Yeah, I guess Wiki's got it messed up. But happy early birthday, I guess. Your birthday's in about a week from now. Yeah.
Yeah, week from tomorrow. Yeah.
You excited for it?
I'm gonna have a little gathering.
Okay, nice. Have some people over, some family and friends. Yeah. Okay, that's what's up. You're gonna be. I know you moved farther out east. You're gonna be there. Or you coming back towards Lindenhurst for?
We will be here in Bohemia.
Okay, very nice, very nice. Well, for those that don't know, Dennis has a 17-9 record, 4 TKOs, 3 subs. He shares wins over Max Holloway, Guida, Rony Jason, Tasura Kawajiri, and Steven Siler. He shared the cage with Jeremy Stevens, Ricardo Lamas, Darren the Damage Elkins, Andre Touchy Fili, and Diego Brandao, who's over in Russia still taking necks. So yeah, Dennis Bermudez has a fantastic resume and to me a Long Island legend. So I definitely had to have you on. But a couple things I want to talk about, just some of your championships and accomplishments. You have submission of the season on Tough 14 against Akira Khorasani. You have fight of the night twice. You have submission of the night. Your performance of the night. You're tied with Brian Ortega for the 5th most submission attempts in UFC featherweight division history at 12. You have the 2nd most control time in UFC featherweight history at 1 hour and 10 minutes. You have the 2nd most takedowns in UFC featherweight division history at 46. You have the 4th most top time division in the UFC featherweight division at 45 minutes and 29 seconds. And you have the UFC.com award 2013 for number 6 fight of the year against Matt Grice.
All right. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, right. I wanted to sum it all up for you real quick. But I got a couple questions for you. We already know you began wrestling in 2000. Yep. You went to Lindenhurst High School, right?
No, I'm from upstate New York.
Oh, you're from upstate New York. So yeah, you moved to Lindenhurst. Say that again. Sorry.
Saugerties, New York. It's section 9 if you look at the sections for wrestling.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. And then you went to wrestle at Bloomberg University of Pennsylvania, right?
Yep. They were a division. They're mainly a Division II school, but they're Division I in wrestling. So I was like, let's go. Let's do
it. Did you spend a lot of time in Philly?
Not really. I had some homies that I trained with that trained with me when I was wrestling. They were near Reading, which is like kind of outside Philly, if I'm not mistaken. I fought in Philly one time in the like pro circuit there in Pennsylvania.
I actually went to school in Philly. I went to Temple University, so I was wondering if you had any similar contacts.
But I wanted to go out in Philly, but I never got around to it. But maybe one day.
Yo, Philly's a great place for food, especially for culture. If you want to just go down and hang out, they got great bars over there. They got a great dining circuit. Just a little dangerous at night. I have multiple friends that had roommates that got beat up at night and got things stolen from them. So you wouldn't have a problem with that.
About that.
Yeah, you're good. But you know, your loved ones walking around, you never know.
Sure.
It could be dangerous at night. But
my lady hits hard too.
Oh yeah? Did she train?
No. I plan on getting her into it. Do you know Chris Wade?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Chris Wade. He trains
Chris
at the
Wade
other
and I
gym.
are going to be opening up a gym here soon in Islip.
Oh, wow.
And we want to do some like women's only classes for women's only like self-defense.
Yeah.
We want to do some really, really different stuff. You know what I mean? Because like your average MMA gym, right, they do BJJ, no-gi
Kickboxing.
jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, and like some wrestling. And a lot of them don't really touch on the wrestling a lot, you know.
Yeah, it's usually like 1 day a week, and
so
for
Chris,
like 1 hour.
Chris has some wild ideas, like one class being called unfair fights.
Okay,
so like
what would the basis of that class be?
3 dudes get in a corner. Like, what are you gonna do?
Oh wow! All right,
So
I like that.
You know,
that's a real
like
scenario.
Some like knife and gun training, like throw a rubber knife on the mat. Do jiu-jitsu with a rubber knife on the mat.
You got to secure it and then get yourself safe. Yeah,
these are some really cool concepts that I think will get people fired up and be like, that's cool.
For sure, because people want to apply the knowledge that they can learn from MMA or grappling or stuff like that. And you directly giving them that channel, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, we want to make it real, a little more real to the average Joe. But I mean, listen, if you want to become a professional fighter and you want to train in our gym, we could get you there too.
Yeah, obviously, you guys are world-class MMA guys. I mean, Chris Wade and you have fought at the highest level. So, yeah, shout out to Chris Wade as well.
Yes.
But so who are your favorite fighters growing up? Were you a boxing guy, an MMA guy, or?
I mean, listen, everybody liked Mike Tyson, right?
Okay, yeah.
The world would kind of stop for him to fight, and everyone got in front of a TV when that would go down. So I remember being really young. And, I'd be running around, and then the Tyson fight would come on. I'd, like, find myself a seat and watch. I'd watch the 30-second bout go down.
Exactly. Him just taking someone out real quick.
Right. And then being Puerto Rican, I liked Felix Trinidad.
Good pull.
Different body style than I have, right? And then, but MMA related, I always liked watching BJ Penn fight. And Frankie Edgar are two of my.
Frankie. Shout out to Frankie. He was supposed to have if it wasn't dirty boxing, a BKFC bout recently. That fell through. So
did you get all the detail? I saw on his page he kind of spoke about it. Got like I maybe some funding. Didn't go
seems like they just wanted to push him out of it. I feel like they really intended to go through with the bout, and then something happened where his medicals were okay.
What they wanted.
Oh, it could be that. You never know, because that's something they don't really release.
He wants big coins, But yeah, there was a whole thing with like his medical, like he passed all his medical, and like, no, you didn't pass. He's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
a little debacle there.
Yeah, he consulted all his doctors afterwards and everything, and they said, no, we cleared you. So I don't understand. So it was a weird situation. I don't know what the full story, but I'm feeling for Frankie. Hopefully he gets to compete soon, whether it's MMA, jiu-jitsu, boxing, whatever it is. Because staying busy is good. Staying busy is good for the body, especially if it's just BJJ.
I would imagine he's secured enough money, and he's got a gym or two that he runs, and so he's probably doing all right where he doesn't need to fight. But in your older age, the money is definitely the motive. I remember when I was much younger, early in my fight career, and you see these guys like potentially throwing fights now a little bit, right?
Yep.
I'm like,
we've been seeing it with the betting.
Right. When I first started, you couldn't pay me any amount to throw a fight because I was like, I'm going to be a world champion. I'll make the money that way. And in my older age, I'm like, I could see it.
Yeah, right. Send me the right amount of checks,
Right.
But yeah, I mean, these days it's so accessible for fighters. Like with social media, you can contact them any single way. So I'm not surprised at all to see that some of this stuff has been happening. I'm just surprised it's happening at the highest level. That's the thing that was crazy to me with the Bulgarian situation and the Kraus stuff and all that. But it was just interesting. I just thought when you hear that kind of stuff, you think of it as at the regional level. You don't really think it even gets up to the high level. But you first started training martial arts in Saugerties in 2009, right? And then you trained. How was that commuting from Saugerties to Pennsylvania? Did you just move there? Were you coming home?
I was already living in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
And so are you familiar with Joey Gambino?
No, who's Joey Gambino?
Joey Gambino fought Steven Siler and Diego Brandao, and then got cut from the UFC. But he's my youngest brother's best friend growing up.
Okay.
And he's actually the one that got me into MMA, kind of. because he had like 2 amateur fights. I was in town, I think, for the holidays, and because of my high level of wrestling credentials, he was like, Dennis, come down to, the gym, let's roll around and we'll go over some wrestling. I'm like, no doubt. So I went down there, and I've always been like a kind of a bigger brother to him. So obviously wrestling turns into submission wrestling. So I'm just like making up like big brother moves and getting a couple here and there. And his coach at the time he goes to me, he goes, Dennis, how old are you? I'm like, 22. He's like, dude, you gotta get into this. I'm like, I don't know, man. I haven't thrown a single punch in my whole life. I mean, a couple in college or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I'm not like I don't consider myself a fighter. I don't go out looking for trouble. I always avoided conflict and all that jazz. And then I went out with my neighbor, who was also my one of Joey's coaches.
Okay.
And we're having pizza. He's like, dude, there's a fight at the end of the month. You should do it. I'm like, dude, I trained one time. What do you mean?
Yeah,
like, dude, you'll be fine. Trust me. I'm like, I don't know, man. And then my brother and his wife were eating with us, like, dude, do it. Do it. And I was like, yeah. And like I said, I was living in Pennsylvania at the time. So I went back. So I was like, all right, I guess, like, whatever. And then Steve Blackman, are you familiar with Steve Blackman?
Yes.
The Lethal Weapon.
Mm-hmm.
He had the best MMA gym in like the Harrisburg, Pennsylvania area, where I was like 45 minutes from there. So I drove there. I walk in, I'm like, how you doing? I was like, where's your best guys?
Oh.
Like, what are you talking about? I've got a fight lined up. Where are your best guys? Like, they're in the back. I'm like, all right, it's a cool fight. He's like, all right, yeah, fill us out. So I go back there and start sparring those guys to see where I'm at, Yeah. And day one, I was better than probably 90% of the gym, just off of the caliber of wrestling I had. And I quickly learned striking, and it was all downhill from there.
Yeah, once you have the wrestling, the striking just opens itself up because everybody's so worried about getting taken down. So that must have been an easy route for you, just right into the MMA game. That's beautiful.
Well, growing up, my dad was super disciplined on all of us, right? So we'd catch ass whoopings on the regular if we screwed up. And then my older brother always liked slap boxing and stuff like that. And my older brother got in a lot of street fights growing up.
Oh, so you kind of learned to stay away from it?
Well, no. I mean, he was my younger brother was like, to this day, he's about 145 pounds soaking wet.
What?
Yeah, he's like scrappy. An inch or two taller than me. He's a skinny dude, but yeah, it's very scrappy. And he'd be out parties, up to no good, and obviously you know how those go, right?
Yeah.
Two towns at the same party, like, what are you looking at? What do you, And his thing was like to go up and just hit the biggest guy. I'm like, what's wrong with you? So if you knock that guy down, then everyone else scatters. I'm like, okay.
Everybody falls in line after that.
Yeah. So with that being said, I wasn't really afraid to like strike with people, And if I got hit really hard, I would just dump you on your head and take you down and hold you there until I beat you up.
So how'd you get involved with Long Island MMA?
So, right, I was living in Pennsylvania. That first year, I fought like 9 times.
It's a very active year. That's like
every
month and a half.
Yeah, so I fought 4 amateur fights every month, and I went pro going into my 5th month, and because the guys I was training with started going pro, and I'm like, how much did you make? They're like, I made $800. I'm like, what? I'm like, I beat you. How? Like, I'll do that every weekend.
In one night.
At the time, I was working at UPS part-time, and I was only making like $126 a week. I live with my mom, my grandmother, and so I'm like, how much? Like, I'll do that every weekend. Like, that's awesome. And they're like, every time you win, you make a little more. I'm like, dude. So that's why I was so active that very first year. And then with a good record, people stop taking fights, start getting harder to get fights, especially at the local level, if you will.
And your name is like very noticeable, so it takes one Google search. They see you're an NCAA Division I wrestler. And
right.
that
My second amateur fight, I like flexed after that. I was all ripped up, and I posted it, and then it got really hard to get fights. But listen, I always started chasing just better competitions, you know. So like, I could have gotten a championship belt at like a local, you know, pro
regional
promotion, you know, regional promotion. But I wanted to get in UFC, or no, I wanted amateur, right? So amateur, I never got a belt there because I wanted to go pro. I never got a belt at the amateur at the local pro circuit because I want to get in UFC. So I was always just trying to just get to the next level as soon as possible, right? Because like, what is an amateur belt? Like, you're the best guy in that area. I thought I was way bigger than that, so I just kept shooting for more and better.
You wanted to be the big fish in the big pond, not the big fish in the small pond.
Yeah.
I see that. Yeah, that makes sense, man. Completely. I mean, that's what a fighter is. They want to fight the very best in the world, so you're always trying to elevate your level. That makes sense. But I saw that. Let's go into some personal questions.
Sure.
So I saw that your kid plays lacrosse, right? Did you play as well?
Yeah, both my boys. Yeah.
Oh, nice. You played in high school?
I did not. I wish I did. But...
Was it the same season as wrestling? Because I know
some sports
conflict. Oh, okay, it is spring. Okay.
Lacrosse just started becoming like, it was a club at first at my high school, like when I was in, I think, 8th grade.
Gotcha.
And then 9th grade, and then they started like their own team, but you had to buy your own gear, and I was like, ooh, yes, I'm out.
Yeah. The expenses pile up real quick when you have to buy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, just for a basic setup, like helmet, gloves, chest protector, elbow pads, it's like $300. I'm like, ooh, I don't think old man's gonna bite on that.
I also saw that you're a car guy. Yes. What was going on with Vin Diesel's Charger? Like, how'd you get involved with that?
So a good friend of mine, Mo Khan, he owns Petroworks. His shop was in Lindenhurst. Now it's in Hicksville. He's got one of the fastest Supras in the world, actually. And his first shop was next to the first one on MMA.
Really?
Like right next to it. Like it was. So I would get done training. I see some cool cars. I'm like, oh, dude, what are you guys doing over here? And just every day I just pop in. What's up, dude? What are you guys working on today? You know? And we just became buds, you know, and kind of had kids at the same time and everything like that, you know. And then when I got in the UFC, he's a big MMA guy, so he was hype on that.
I have a weird feeling we might know the same guy. Is this guy that you're talking about Asian?
No, he looks Indian. He's like Pakistani kind of.
Gotcha. Okay. I thought we were talking about the same guy because a lot of the things I was like, wait a second, I think I know who he's talking about.
I mean, he probably knows the guy you're talking of, but so he's got a lot of cool things in route here. Like he's working on so he's got a lot of exotic cars. So like McLarens, the Supras, with NSXs.
Wow.
And so he bought that Challenger from the Fast and Furious, and used my truck to take it down to New Orleans. And we had who we have in that, I forget what fighter he kind of brought it for, but he's kind of through me. We kind of got him in with UFC a little bit, where he brings exotic cars to fights, and he started putting like the fighters' names on the cars, and they come out for embedded, kind of covers it a little bit.
Was that him that did the Prodis one? Because I know that was him that did the Prodis Marlboro one. That's awesome. Wow, that's so cool. I didn't know. So that's full circle right there. That's cool. I was at UFC 322. I was covering it in New York. Yeah.
The fights were awesome, man. Electric in there. The knockouts were nuts. It was a really good card.
And history was made too. Islam Makhachev getting that belt. I know it wasn't simultaneous, but still a huge accomplishment. You know.
I just didn't win any of my parlays.
Yeah, me neither. Wellmaker got me in the end. I was believing in Wellmaker, but it is what it is. You can't win every fight, But so what was your last job before fully going into MMA?
I was living on Long Island, and I worked. I would open at a fitness gym called Big Al's Family Fitness. It was in Amityville.
Okay.
I'd open there at 5 a.m., work till like about noon, grab a little lunch, and then I would go to PC Richards and Sons in Deer Park, and I'd work there till close. I was doing that like 5 or 6 days a week, just because it's expensive living on Long Island, and I didn't really have a lot of money. So I had made the Ultimate Fighter show, and I told both my bosses, like, hey, dude, I'm quitting to go be in the UFC, and like, man, like, good luck.
Decision.
And if it doesn't work out, you can come back here because we love having you here.
That's awesome. You always had a place just in case. That's nice, because some people, they really don't have an option. It's like, oh, well, if you don't come back, you're not going to have a job here on Monday.
Yeah,
so
but you know what? Thinking about it now, it was never. I never thought that I wouldn't make it. I was just so like, nah, I don't lose.
You got to have that confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's what drives you as an MMA fighter. That's also that confidence. That's what keeps you going. But I saw a weird fact, and I just want to know if there's a reason for it. I've noticed that you've never had a fight in October. Is there a reason for that?
Just so weird. That's just a coincidence, I guess.
Okay.
Especially as I got further up the ladder, the dance had to make sense, right? So you couldn't just once if you're ranked 6, like, you're not going to go fight someone that's unranked, So everyone had made sense to fight, had to be healthy and available, and not have a fight lined up. So as I got further in my career, it got harder to get lined up. But early in my career, I was fighting like 3 times a year, just every 4 months. Let's go. So it'd be train for 3 months, fight, a little downtime in that month, and then right back in it. I'll be in another camp, and I'd be training hard again for another fight. Month off, back on it.
It seems like it doesn't look like you had to cut a lot of weight, but it seems like the weight cuts weren't easy. Did you have a favorite post weight cut meal or anything like that?
I got really heavy on like just grilled chicken.
Keep it nice.
But
and clean.
I had as I got further into my career, I had a nutritionist and stuff like that. And as I got older, right, your body changes, so we had to tweak some things and make some adjustments.
Less sugars.
But the weight cut did suck. I naturally would get up to like about like 175.
Oh wow, that's big.
So
it'd be 30 pounds.
Somewhere between, I would cut between like 25 30 pounds every fight.
Damn. Yeah. You don't miss that shit. I know that.
So people ask me, like, would you still fight? I'm like, it would have to be a lot of money for me. Having a full-time job now, I'm a lineman, and it would be miserable trying to make weight and train and work on top of being a father, and I'd be like, that'd be tough.
Yeah, man. The stress isn't worth it at this point.
If enough money, I'll do it.
Yeah. It's got to make the stress go away.
Yeah.
What about post-fight, like a victory meal? Did you have a favorite go-to, like a pizza or something like that?
So I remember, so I lost the finale fight, and I was like, that's not happening again. And I got to train harder. I got to diet cleaner. So I remember, I think it was like, I dieted for like 5 months after the Brandao fight to the, what was his name? I'm drawing blank. But it was May 5th. And I would be watching TV, and like Burger King would come on, and I had this list written down of things I was going to eat after the fight.
Oh, Pablo Garza? Was it Pablo Garza?
Yes. And I tried to eat a lot of these things, and I actually got sick because I had to eat clean for so long that when I started putting all the shit in my body, I got actually sick for like a few days.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your body always tells you. You know, sometimes you got to listen.
Yeah.
What about venues? You got a favorite place you fought, whether it's the venue or a city, or is favorite thing about a venue?
Las Vegas was always very fun to fight at because after the fight, there is some nightlife. Kind of city doesn't really sleep. And also while you're cutting weight, there's a lot of things in Vegas to kind of keep your mind off being hungry or how, you know what I mean? Like I would just go walk the strip and just look at all the lights and, you know what I mean? I'd walk a couple miles. So Vegas was fun.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah. Because
Yeah,
there's a lot of
Vegas,
time while you're doing your media obligations in
yeah,
between training sessions. So yeah, that does make sense.
yeah. So anywhere that is open after the fights for a little bit of nightlife, a little, you know, some drinks. Because there'll be a lot of fights where I would do the post-fight conference,
Which
or
goes
maybe
to
go
like
to the hospital,
3.
whatever, and I wouldn't get back to the hotel till like 1 o'clock, and everywhere shuts down at 1:30.
Mm.
You know,
Especially if you're in like a state that's like Pennsylvania where everything closes at 2.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, no, that's like if you're in there. Last call's at like 1:30.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Or
so you're
1.
screwed even
So,
before.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, Vegas is a good spot. The only reason I don't like Vegas is because I feel like I eat the same thing over and over every time I'm there.
Well, the
But
thing is about Vegas is to have like a really, really good time,
Mhm.
you have to have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I'm not a high roller like that.
Yeah,
So
I'm
if I
from
know
the same area as you. A couple other things. So tell me about the tough season. I know you had TJ, you had Dodson, you had Brian Caraway on this season. What was your experience like? What was like the toughest and hardest parts of it?
So one of the things I did awesome was I shacked up with Johnny Bedford and Dustin Peg.
Okay.
So both those guys are super religious. So they would be like, we'd do like some prayers and stuff like that. But that was the only room of 3.
Oh.
All the other rooms had like 6 beds in them, or you know what I mean. So
Communal.
yeah, so we had and our room was downstairs, and it was kind of tucked away. So our sleep never really got messed up, and we weren't like causing trouble with anybody where people would come in and try and prank us and like ruin our sleep or anything like that. But going into the tough 14 season, I kind of put my brain almost like I would when I would go and enter a wrestling tournament. Just I go out there, kind of make my presence known, and like I'm about business right here. I'm the baddest person here, and I'm gonna prove it to. And another thing too was Dustin Peg and Johnny Bedford were 135 pounders, so there's no chance I was ever gonna fight them.
That's beautiful.
So that was nice too, you know. Yeah, I just you know, it was a 6-month just like focus and just get the job done. Get in there, and I had a notepad, and I would just write things in there, you know, just to keep my mind focused and sharp and
Stimulate it.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So with tough, I mean, do you have any advice for like upcoming fighters? Like if somebody was about to get into it right now, what's like the main thing that you would tell them before going on tough?
You know what? It depends on like what angle you're trying to hit, right?
Okay.
Because people love entertainment, right? And they're watching a show. So if you're their favorite character because you're funny or maybe inspirational, or you have to have something that makes you different than everybody else, right? Where I was just like, I'm just gonna go in there and be a badass. But everybody on the show is a badass, right?
Yeah, that's why they're there.
It wasn't until after the show that I was like, oh shit, I gotta do something different, right? Because before they would air the shows, they would send you a DVD of the show. So I think so you'd get the DVD on like a Sunday or a Monday, and I think the show aired on like a Thursday or something like that. So I put the DVD in that was like my episode, And the UFC kind of portrayed me to be like an idiot, you know? And I was like, oh, man. And so I called my manager, like, dude, this is not good. They got me on here looking really like I'm stumbling over my words. I'm saying shit that doesn't make sense because I'm trying to be this like tough guy, but I'm not a tough guy. I'm not like a crazy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he goes, who's your favorite character on Friends? And I was like, Joey.
Yeah, it's gotta be
why?
Joey.
I'm like, because he's a goof. He's like, that's you. Be that guy. I was like, okay. You know, so after that, instead of trying to say this like badass, I'm a Terminator, I'm gonna destroy this guy, rip his face off, which isn't naturally me. I just would talk to my interviewer like I've known forever, and they're my buddy, and I just came off way more genuine and very likable.
Exactly.
And that was my approach, kind of going forward with the rest of my career. You know.
Yeah, I'm glad you found your lane with that, man. For real. So over your career, you've had a couple rounds, couple wars. Do you have a most memorable round or fight in your career?
Whenever you step into the octagon, a lot of times it's just like it feels like almost like an elephant's on your chest a little bit, right? Am I tired? I'm breathing heavy. I think I'm getting tired. This guy's strong. And I remember fighting Max Holloway and just going back to the corner and be like, dude, I'm having so much fun right now. This is like, and I'm sure things have changed with Max, but like, I remember his punches like weren't like hurting me. So he was peppering me a lot, but I was like, I'll just grab his legs, throw him down. I just remember just really having just a great spar and back and forth with him, you know? And I felt like I was winning everything. So there was no like pressure of like, this is tight, this is close, you know? And then another Clay Guida, I was like so locked in to fight Clay.
You could see it in that fight too.
Yeah, Clay. I also had been working with a mental coach too, which probably helped. And every scenario I already ran through my head and how it was going to go, and I was like so locked in. And also, like I remember being in college, and Clay Guida was a big deal. So I've always known who he was, and that he was such a huge star. And it was very, very easy to train to beat Clay because he was like, Clay's a card. I gotta do more. It was just easy to train for him. And where there's been some other opponents I have, like, nobody knows this fucking guy, and he's kind of boring, or and those ones are hard to and like I know I'll crush this guy, you know what I mean? And it's hard to get that extra juice to train. And I always did, and I probably overtrained a lot, but the fight I hang my hat on the most was probably against Matt Rice, where I just remember the last bell ringing and just being like like air. I had left everything I had in that octagon.
That's probably a good feeling.
I mean, while you're in the moment, it was torture. I would rather be in hell. It was like no air. Like my muscles were, everything was like lactic acid running through my body, and
so
like I had him on like Queer Street. I was like, he's right. I got it. The finish is right there. I can see it. I just gotta just get it. I just kept sending him, and he's a tough son of a gun, man, and an honor to have shared the octagon with him for sure, because I would have loved if his career went further to see what he would have done.
There's too many careers like that where they end a little early and you're like, damn, what could have happened? You know? But I see you have a lot of split decisions in your career. In a perfect scenario, like your body's perfect, your mind's perfect, you come back for one last fight. Do you have any of those that you really want to get back in there? Like you would go back and redo that one?
Every split decision I ever had.
You're like, they're equal. I hate
Elkins,
all those.
Andre Fili, what's the other guy? He has two first names.
Two first names. Let's see.
No one really knows him.
Rony Jason?
Nope.
No, it can't be him. Got to be earlier.
He was my fourth loss in my little losing skid there.
Jeremy Stevens? Jeremy
Nope.
Stevens. Ricardo Lamas?
Nope. Ricardo Lamas was my first loss in my 7-fight win streak.
Oh.
I mean, if there's any fight I would like to.
Oh, Rick Glenn.
Rick Glenn, yes. Two first names. You can't trust someone with two first names.
I've heard that saying so many times in life. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, any one of those three, I think if I could redo them, I think I could win easily. But wasn't my night. And then listen, all those guys are super tough, and that level of the game, it's hard, right? But there's one thing that if I could have redone in my career, it would have been to really emphasize my jiu-jitsu and get better at jiu-jitsu, right? Because if I could take down anybody in the weight division, the next step is just finish him on the ground with submission.
Yep.
But I was like, people want blood. This guy's face to the canvas, and it's very, very hard to knock somebody out when they're on their back and you're on top of them, right? Because you only have like this much
torque and force
to try to hit a knockout punch. So yeah, I just wish I had dove deeper into jiu-jitsu where I could have finished these guys and then creeped up the ladder and became a champion.
So you had 5 bonuses in the UFC. Can you remember some of the stuff you spent that bonus money on?
To be honest with you, it was just to live on Long Island, right? Because I got a lot of those bonuses early on in my career, and living on Long Island is very expensive, and I didn't have a job. So $10,000 a fight, $10,000, that's only $20,000, and you still have to pay all your coaches travel, hotel. You get taxed on that stuff. So the extra bonuses was just enough to let me
coast.
Just enough for me just to be able to just train, just continue to train. Yeah.
So those bonuses were very important.
Yeah. I mean, you see a lot of these guys that are early on in their careers in the UFC. I don't know if the pay scale has gone up for these beginning guys, but
slightly.
Also, I had lost in the finale, so I got like the worst Ultimate Fighter contract, where I think it was like 10-10, 12-12, 14-14, and that's if you won, it went up $2,000.
Yeah. So
after 6 fights, which is 2 years, I think I was at like 24-24. So it's under $50,000, and I still have to pay taxes on that. I still got to pay all my coaches, and I still, what I mean? So it was, those bonuses were just to get me to the next fight, really, and be able to just train.
Oh, damn. Well, that really highlights the importance, because when you watch these cards and you see these prelim fighters begging for these bonuses, and then you see it go to a fighter that's gotten bonus after bonus after bonus, it kind of makes you feel for them, because I mean, that guy could have definitely used it. Obviously, the co-main fighter makes $100K to show and win, and
I'm like, John Jones is getting $100,000. He got another that $50,000
exactly.
is nothing for him.
That's why I'm always pushing for these prelim fighters to voice their opinion, even if it's bad taste or whatever to voice your opinion that you want the bonus. You should, because you're the person that deserves that. I wouldn't say deserves it more, but you need it more. That money would do a lot more for you than it would for that person. So,
but go out there and be that guy. I know every time I stepped in there, dude, I was pretty scared, and I was like, dude, either I kill this guy or he kills me, and I don't want to be on the losing side of like, well, I didn't go for it. Like, I'm trying to knock you out. So in order to do that, you got to put yourself on the line to get knocked out. And that's the way I always fought. And instead of going for submissions, I wanted to give the fans like elbows and punches, ground and pound. They like that more, right?
Excitement. Yeah.
But at any cost, I was trying to win. Probably my my most boring fight was against Kawajiri, and I was on a 2-fight losing streak. And I know right after the third loss, the UFC kind of cuts you. So I was like, I got to just secure this bag. I got to just get this. So that was there's, holding him in the cage, takedowns, kind of just, and he was really good at jiu-jitsu. So like just kind of holding position, trying to land some punches. But I played that fight very, very safe. And I remember walking off and, who's the match? Name the matchmakers again. Sean Shelby. Sean Shelby goes, what was that? I'm like, I know. Because I've always been a very exciting fighter, and that's why the UFC loves having me. But I was like, I just had to get the win. I couldn't afford to stand in the pocket with this guy and he lands a stupid back fist and I'm sleeping or something.
Yeah. Mind your P's and Q's.
Yeah. But in general, I always went out there and just got after it, and the fans always loved it, and the UFC loved it, and I always said yes to every fight. And so these younger guys, man, you go out there and start wailing on people, you'll get the bonus,
Exactly. You just got to go out there and put on a show. So you got to retire in Brooklyn, so you got to retire in New York, your home state, but a lot of guys don't get to retire on their own terms, and you kind of got to. What played the most in your decision of retiring there in Brooklyn at that time?
So nobody really knows it, but after I lost to Rick Glenn, because that was my 4th loss, going into that fight, I'm like, if I lose this guy, I'm quitting. I'm retiring. I'm done with this shit. You know what I mean? And I remember getting my last takedown. I was like stretched out, and I was in my corner, and Ryan Flesh was like, get this takedown, you win this fight. And I cinched it all in,
Gutted it out.
just ended the tag, got takedown, and then the bell, rang, and I started walking in the corner. He's like, that's it. You won that fight. And I was like, all right, cool. And then when the decision didn't go my way, I was like, it fucking broke me, dude. I was like, man, this is, because at this point, it's like I hadn't won in 2 years. 4 fights is 2 years at that stage in your career.
It's a long time for a fighter.
I didn't win anymore, and I was like, man, this is just. And then,
and it hurts even more because it's the judges doing it to you, because a lot of those last losses are split decisions that should have gone your way.
Right. So my biggest quarrel with that was I lost to Andre Fili. He took me down 3 times to my 1 takedown, but I'm the wrestler, so I guess I'm supposed to get the takedowns. But I outstruck him by 60 strikes, right? So I'm like, okay, takedowns mean a lot. So I took Rick Glenn down 6 times to 0 takedowns. I think he outstruck me by 6 punches, and he still won. So I was like, dude, I've been doing this now for 10 years. I don't know what they're looking like. How do you win if it goes to decision, right? Because I thought,
it seems like there's no rhyme or reason to the criteria that they're using to judge the fights sometimes.
Yeah. So I didn't tell anybody, but I low key retired, because that fight was in kind of the summer, I believe.
Yeah, July 14th was the Rick Glenn fight.
So I stopped training. I just retired, but didn't tell anybody. I started looking for jobs. And so I had landed the PSEG job that I have now, the lineman job. And they weren't hiring until May. So I had this a pretty big gap. So I landed the job in November of 2018, where but you're not going to actually start till May
of 2019.
Right. And then I had some personal things happen in my life where I was just angry, and I'm like, someone's got to pay. So I call my man. I'm like, Doc, get me another fight. He's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm ready to rock, dude. Let's get me something. I just need something to get my mind, just off life, I guess, so I took that last fight on I think 3 weeks notice. Christmas. Wow. I think that fight went down Christmas Eve. Hey, Christmas, You got the fight. All right, cool. And like I said, I was kind of, I had already had like a foot out the door, if you will, where I was like, fuck cutting this weight, dude. I'm gonna fight at 155. I don't give a shit, like, you know. And
I was wondering that too, because I was like, why was that at lightweight? That does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I was just done with the bullshit, right? I mean, worst case scenario, I get, you know, 50 grand, I go off into the sunset, right? On a fifth loss, right? But that was never, I didn't really think I was going to lose, right? Every time I fight, I don't think I'm going to lose. That's why I take the fight.
Exactly.
But going into that fight, I'm like, yo, if I knock this guy out or submit him and I don't have any damage, I'll take another fight. And I'll start banging out a few fights before I start this job. But I had fractured my thumb in the fight against Tay Edwards. And, before I started the job, that was in January. So I had like 120 grand. I still had to pay taxes on it, though.
Yeah. They don't tell you about that.
But I was able to coast and, do kind of whatever I wanted until I started the job.
That's nice.
Which didn't start till at the end of June. If I knew that, I would have taken another one.
Summer in Long Island in 2019 must have been nice. You're hitting the beaches, Joan Beach, Gilgo, all that.
Well, no, 2019, I started June 25th. So the beginning, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, at least you got
a little fun
for the first half. Yeah, still good. You got the good part of the summer, not when everybody's all sad because everybody's about to go back to school or to their jobs or whatever. Let's quickly talk about UFC 323 that's coming up.
Okay.
So are you an avid MMA fan these days? I know you said you were watching 322. So you got a couple favorite fighters that you watching these days or what?
Merab used to train with us over in Long Island. He used to pop in. Him and Aljo would come down almost weekly, or they pop in every once in a while, and we'd have some really good goes. And now they're both world champions. I'm like,
they're huge now.
Yeah.
That's awesome to see, though, right?
But I'm so happy for those guys. If I text them or DM them, they don't like big time. They're like, yo, what's up, Dennis? But yeah, Merab he's the man. He's just, even being a champion, if I were to watch him train, I'm like, yo, Merab, do this like this. He wouldn't be like, you were never a champion. He'd be like, oh, okay. And he would he's so open-minded and just wants to always get better and very humble.
That's why he's so likable as a champion. Yeah. It's like almost impossible to not like Merab. I don't know why people hate on Aljo, but it's the same type of guy, I mean, they're both really good guys. They both keep to themselves. They value their family and their friends, but for some reason, Aljo just got this bad rap because of that first Yan fight.
Well, if you have an opinion on anything, people are going to somebody's going to go against your opinion, right? Where Merab doesn't have any, but he just, fight. like this guy. And he makes him and Aljo make these great, spoofs on other fighters while they're getting ready to train for them, and Merab with the girls, so that it's amazing.
They're great on social media. That's another thing that they've really got on top of that elevated them. Their social media game, next level. I love it. Do you know about Ilia Topuria, and what are your thoughts on him?
He's a bad.
Yeah, he's
in my older age, and I've lost a few steps. I'm like, oof, I don't know how that fight would go for me. In my prime, I'd be like, I'll eat this guy up. But no, he's super sharp, dude. In all aspects, his jiu-jitsu, his striking is very top tier. Great wrestling defense. He can wrestle. He's the if you want my opinion, I think Makhachev bumped up because he didn't like that matchup.
Yeah, it's a problem matchup for everybody. He's got everything. There's no holes in his game, so it's just like where does this fight go? And I hope it's not on the feet.
yeah, he sold the devil or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, man, it's some crazy stuff. It's John Jones level power and mystique. You know what I mean? It's like a combination of John Jones and McGregor into one.
Smooth.
Yeah, it's amazing to see. I can't wait to see what he does in his career. It's gonna be fantastic. But speaking
How
of
old
two
is
weight
he?
classes, I think he's like
27,
31.
28? Oh, is he? Okay.
If he's under 30, that is
I think he
amazing.
is.
Oh my God, he's 28.
Yeah.
He's 28 years old.
Yeah,
That's
he still has a
crazy.
lot of time to, you know.
God
Yeah.
bless the featherweight, lightweight, and welterweight divisions. God
Well,
bless.
he's done with featherweight.
Lucky for them, right? Lucky for them. That guy's a problem. But speaking of two weight classes, he did 145, 155. If you had the chance in your career, would you have tried to do 35 and 45 or 45 and 55?
It had to be 45 and 55. The 45 was
That was tough enough, right?
I was cutting my you know what it is like I've got a thick, even though I'm short, I've got like a thick core and thick legs that hold a lot of weight. Because I remember getting ready for a fight. I was 165, veins running through my abs, and I remember looking in the mirror like, how? And my body fat percent was like under 10. I'm like, how the hell am I going to make 45? And I remember getting like very nervous, and I pretty much had to just start eating muscle, really.
The human body can surprise you what it can do when it needs to hit a certain goal. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whether it's water, muscle, whatever you got to lose, it'll get it done. It'll get it done. So in the UFC 323 main event, we obviously have Long Island's own Merab Dvalishvilli. We're Long Islanders. I know you're rocking with him too. How do you see that fight playing out?
Probably just like the first fight.
That's what I thought too.
A lot of people I think he's gonna, Peter Yan doesn't stand a chance. I'm like, he does possess one-hit knockout power, right? Merab's got a great chin, but so it goes both ways. So as you get older, right, your chin gets a little worse, but also as you get older, your power goes away. So they probably both, are doing this or this together.
Yeah, they're parallel.
Probably goes the same way.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Peter Yan is definitely an athlete. I have my buddies that own Bang Tao in Thailand. I used to wrestle with them in college. I know when they were at Tiger Muay Thai, running Tiger Muay Thai, he would go there and train with them. I'm sure they're still tight, but my buddies who, they're like, dude, Peter Yan is no joke.
Yeah, he's a monster.
But Rob is
the machine.
He's from Long Island.
Yeah, I got the shirt up right behind me. I got both Aljo's shirt right there, Merab's shirt right there. Yeah. Those are my guys. But so with those fights, there's a couple things I want to talk about. What about the co-main too? I forgot Alexandre Pantoja and Joshua Van. What do you think about that?
That Joshua Van is impressive.
That's what I'm thinking, man. He looks like he's coming for that. It's crazy.
I feel like people might be sleeping on him a little bit. Because Pantoja is very good, but there's been better 125-pound champions. Right? It's at 125, correct?
Yep. Demetrius Johnson. Some people put Henry Cejudo there.
Right. And Van is young, and being young and youthless, as long as he's not in his own head and he just kind of does what he does, it could be a good night for him,
Yeah. I predict a nail biter. I feel like it's gonna be real close.
At 125, it is. It's those guys don't possess the KO power, and they're all really, really good at jiu-jitsu, and they're like little cats, right? So they usually go to decision, and it's kind of the guy that's got the better cardio and is willing to just push that extra, put it all on the line, wins.
You got any friends or coaches on the card that you're rooting for besides Merab? And maybe Nazim Sadiqov?
Henry Cejudo's fighting, correct?
Yep, Cejudo's fighting.
Yeah, so Cejudo won his belt the night I retired.
Brooklyn.
And I went to his after party. Yep, I went to his after party, And it's kind of his party, his celebration, and he took the time to be like, "Let's give it up for Dennis! Like, tonight, going out a W." I was like, "My dude."
That shows character, man. I like that from him.
Yeah.
It's dope. Not a lot of people get to see that side. They always see the triple C cringe or whatever it is, but he's a really good dude. People don't get to see that. So yeah, shout out to Henry Cejudo. What do you think about this White House card coming up?
Dana gets what Dana wants, right? I mean, listen, I don't think they're gonna make a ton of money on it. It'll probably be almost a wash, but it's one of those things that they did it, right? It's who else can, no other organization probably ever will be able to do that, right? I heard it's going to cost them $1 million just to replace the grass after they're done.
What?
There's no stadium there, right?
Nope.
They got to build a
structure.
Yeah.
That's going to cost, taxpayers probably not going to be happy about this.
Well, I think UFC is paying for it.
Okay. They're going to fund it. Okay.
I think it's just another statement that Dana White is making, like the first fight card in the Sphere. I don't think they made a lot of money in the Sphere. And it's just like, let's do it because we can. Like, nobody else is doing it. We'll be the promotion in the sport that's in the Sphere.
It's kind of like what he did during COVID.
Coronavirus.
Yep.
Right during the pandemic, he was like, "Oh, everybody else shut down, not us," and it was just like a statement. He's that guy.
Yeah.
Figures it out. He's got solutions to problems.
He's a maverick. Shout out to Dana White. Quick last MMA related question. So usually people got a top 5, that kind of stuff. Who's your top 5?
Fighters?
Yep.
Or the best or what?
Yeah, best of the best. Your top 5. You're making a list. The GOATs. Who are your top 5 GOATs?
John Jones, 1. Demetrius Johnson, 2. BJ Penn's in the top 5. I don't know where he sits. We'll just put BJ Penn 5.
Okay.
For his time too, right? Black belt within 3 years. He fought Machida at 205.
Yeah, that's
back
wild.
In the day.
That's a fact. Yes.
The dude he's like a little unhinged. And it's awesome.
Yeah.
So now I got to pick 4 and 3, right?
Yes.
We'll put Khabib at 4.
Okay, good pick.
And like we were talking about before, dude, Taporia is on another. I think, or where's Henry go? Henry's got to be in there somewhere.
Yeah, Triple C.
So we'll move because Henry Cejudo would have beat BJ Penn now, or
I agree.
Whatever at both their primes. Cejudo would have beat BJ Penn. So we'll move BJ Penn to 6, even though we're not doing 6. Henry Cejudo at 5. Then we got Taporia at 4. Sorry, Khabib at 4.
Khabib at 4. Taporia at 3.
Very nice. Money Mouse. Bones Jones.
And then John Jones. Good list. I like your list. And then, so I have a couple photos here, and I just want to go through them, and you tell me what was going down, or yeah. Here's photo number 1.
I'm fighting Steven Siler.
Okay. And you had the long hair for this camp, right?
Yeah. Well, so after I had my first son, I was like, I don't really care about my appearance because I'm a father now. I'm not trying to pick up chicks. So I just let everything just go. Caveman style. Yeah. What was on my face? Let me see the picture again.
I got you.
All right. He might have just hit me. I was like, oh, fuck, here we go.
Just bracing for what's next.
And then and then I'm just like, all right, let's get it. Let's get back in there.
All right, I got another photo for you. I see that you got Security Dodge on the shorts there. I actually got my challenger from Security Dodge, so that's
Yep.
another connection we got
Yeah,
there.
they held me down throughout my career while you could have a sponsor. In that photo there, I think I'm just trying to. It's the third period, I think, and I'm just trying to put this dude on the fence and hit him as hard as I could and get this fight over with.
Strong Island style. All right, what about this photo at Max Holloway? I see you still got the Security Dodge on the shorts. They're holding you down strong there. See a little tap
Max
out on there.
Holloway, Mike Tyson's there. So where I said I was from, Saugerties, Catskill is the next town north of Saugerties, where Mike Tyson kind of grew up and did all his training. Let's see that picture one more time.
I got you.
So in that fight, Max Holloway called me out. He's trying to climb the ranks. Okay. And I was like, "You want some of this, boy? I'm gonna show you the fucking you picked the wrong dude. Watch this, Mike."
Oh, that's fucking great. All right, what about this photo? What are your thoughts here?
So I had shot on Clay. He sprawled, and I just sucked it in and stood up with it. He tried to go for a jiu-jitsu thing, so I'm like, I'm on my way down to just plant him in the ground, and I think I spun on him, and I might have taken his back shortly after.
All right, and then I see you got the Fangs mouthpiece here. You want to tell us about those Fangs mouthpiece? I've seen those multiple times over your career.
I worked with a company called Guard Labs, and they had created these Fangs for me. It's a custom job. And it's funny because people would inquire about them. They're like, "We don't do these for everybody, you know."
Yeah, these are special orders.
But no, I know the camera's there. I know, like, you think it's cool. I know the fans would think it's cool. So just like, fuck this dude up.
And we've seen it multiple times in your career. Here we have it again in your post fight, getting your hand raised. Also, this tattoo on your arm.
Fang.
Oh, there's double on this one. Oh yeah, I see. Yeah. Oh wow.
Double fang on that one. No, it felt great just to fucking finally get a win under my belt after not having a win since like probably 2017 or something like that. And that I could win. I moved up a weight class against you see Tay Edwards? That dude's biceps are huge. Yeah, like I'm like,
he's
this guy looks like a bigger version of me, man. And you know, the crowd erupted, and I knew I was retiring at that point, just because it went to decision. It was a tough fight, a little banged up, and just that picture was like a sign of relief, like we did it.
That's awesome. That was the thing that answered a lot of questions that night in that fight. So that's awesome to see. In this photo, who are you pointing to?
I don't know. That's actually one of my favorite. I think. Oh, you know what? I think I'm pointing to Mayhem and my manager Ryan Parsons. I think I just finished somebody, maybe Akira, and we're just like, because I felt like an underdog in that fight. I don't know.
Really?
Well, he did clock me fucking pretty good.
Surprised you a little bit there.
And he was talking a lot of shit on the show. So it's like, fuck you. Like, I told you I'm going to win.
Stuck it to him. I like that. What about this photo at Long Island MMA? What was going on here? You just happy you cut weight, or
I'm just look. Hey, look how lean I am. Like,
abs looking right.
Yeah, like this is. I'm gonna do this. You know, hey, if you work hard, you too can have this. Is kind of what that picture.
I've never had abs, so. And last photo. Oh, sorry. Last photo I got for you, right here. What does this photo mean to you?
Oof. Thinking about retiring, I never thought I'd be emotional. And I had given a speech about my uncle who wasn't doing too well. he passed away during COVID, May 2020, and it was just a ton of emotion, and it's me like blowing, just like trying to hold the tears back, you know. Just growing up, like you cry like you're a sissy. But it was just
90s mentality.
Yeah, and listen, and the crowd went nuts, and it was and I knew that was kind of be the last time I threw the gloves on, and the organization was awesome, and it was the closing of a chapter for me. And I spoke about my kids and how I want them to aspire to be great, and yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm glad you got to have that moment. I'm glad you got to retire in your home state, you know, surrounded by people that loved you. That was a good moment, and I really wanted to highlight that. That's why I especially wanted to make you my first interview. So I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, man.
I just have a couple things to say. I think you, Baroni, Ryan LaFleur, Weidman, Sterling, Dvalishvilli, you guys are all legends of Long Island, and I appreciate everything you guys have done for MMA and the sport of and combat sports in general. So I just want to take this moment to thank you for coming on the show, and thank you for all you've done. Besides that, do you see the effect that these Long Island champions have had on the community and the area, and how much MMA and combat sports has popped up? Because I remember a time where there was one Taekwondo gym in the town, you know, and now there's a MMA gym here, there's a boxing gym there. Like can you elaborate a little on that, or how you've seen it change?
Well, I mean, one of the reasons why I moved to Long Island, so I had won my first couple. I had my first pay-per-view fight back for Shine Fights, and I had 15 grand. And with that money, I'm like, dude, I'm out of here. Like, where can I go to get better? Where can I go? And and both my parents are from Long Island, and whenever we'd come here, you know, like the pretty women and then the fast cars and just everyone, like, you know, a little bit of keeping up with the Joneses, and the hustle on Long Island is much different than anywhere else in the world. And if you kind of stay still, you'll just, you know, you'll kind of fall to the wayside. Where you keep moving, which has kind of been like my motto ever since high school. Like, if you keep moving, good things happen. And I want to be around a lot of people that were hustling and trying to better themselves and make more money and everything like that. And so that's why I chose Long Island. And I think with that being said, of why I moved here, I think that's why a lot of people here on Long Island have success, right? There's a lot of things tangible to people. I think it's kind of close. All your needs are very close. When I was living in Pennsylvania, the gym I trained at was 45 minutes away. I didn't know any personal trainers. I didn't. You know, I mean, there weren't as many. On Long Island, you could just go around the block and you find another personal trainer.
Yeah.
I met like great doctors and
orthopedic surgeons,
therapists, you know, and everybody. Also on Long Island, like, everyone wants to be associated with someone doing well.
Yep.
Like, so like, I'm the UFC, like, take you right in. I will help you get to next level. Just tell people you know me, you know. But not necessarily. I think a lot of people, like, it's good for their brand too, right? It's good for my brand, them helping me. It's good, and
it's mutual.
If I'm doing better, like, it makes them look better, right? That's why I want Max Holloway to do so great.
That makes, you know, exactly.
He's a legend, right? So yeah. With that being said, on Long Island, it's kill or be killed world here, right? Everyone's moving fast, and everyone's trying to. Everybody kind of wants eyes on them, so it's like you gotta outwork everybody to be noticeable. So then when you get to that bigger stage, it's like it's weaker than that. It's weaker here than it is where I live, you know?
Exactly. It seems smaller at that point.
If that all makes sense. I don't know.
No, it does. That makes complete and utter sense.
Yeah.
But where can people find you, Dennis? Like, do you have anything you want to plug or for them to check out your content?
Well, like I said, I'm in the process of opening my own gym with Chris Wade. It's gonna be called Frequency Alter Ego, and we're gonna have some really cool classes. That's at the Gold Gym in Islip, and but on social media, I'm at Menace Bermudez. I post like little flashbacks and of fighting and like a lot of my family and doing what I'm up to these days. And then every once in a while I throw out some different workouts that I do and stuff like that. And then I want to get my YouTube going again. It's Menace Tube.
Menace Tube.
So I have my own podcast on there for a few years. We've had like a lot of awesome guys on, like Volkanovski's come on, Craig Jones, Dana White.
That's awesome.
We were cooking.
Bring that podcast back, bro. I would definitely check it out.
Maybe bring back the Cooking with the Menace show.
Yeah.
I got what it's. I wish there was more time in the day, right? I got a lot of great ideas.
That's the thing.
But having the time to make everything work gets a little tight.
Yeah, trying to tuck it all in the schedule in 24 hours, or it gets a little difficult.
My boys are on 4 lacrosse teams each.
Do you plan on coaching, or
I never played lacrosse, so I can help them with the strength aspect and a little bit of dieting for
conditioning,
but I'm their dad. They don't really want to hear it from me.
Yeah, they go there to get away from you.
Yeah, I hope when they get older, they're like, Dad, we were looking online. I saw a lot of stuff. Like, you were pretty crazy.
Yoked.
Like, how do I get like that? I'm like, well, come with me, son. Yeah. But yeah, they do wrestling right now, but they only do it once a week. Wrestling's like their least favorite sport, but they love lacrosse, so we're kind of putting all our eggs in the basket so they can potentially get full rides for college or some money, and just the hard work that comes along with being great. We're making that possible for them. We're giving them the tools to do that.
That's awesome, because lacrosse is actually on the come up. I just did a stream for Major League Lacrosse and USA Lacrosse not too long ago. It was like the Shoshone, Puerto Rico, Canada, and USA. They all had a tournament, so it's definitely on the rise now. So good to see it.
No, they love it, man. So it's fun to watch too, and they play ice hockey as well. So they're all over the place.
Yeah, and if you're from Long Island, you know lacrosse. I don't know about all these other states if you're paying attention, but if you're from Long Island, you know lacrosse. Okay, it's big out here. It's very big. But Dennis, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you taking your time out of your day to do this interview with me. Hopefully, I can have you back on in the future.
Yeah.
And I hope to see you all over social media. I hope your podcast comes back, and I hope a lot of success coming your way, brother.
All right, brother. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. Have a good one. All right.
You too.
Peace.
Can't mask it like the Phantom or the Opera. They mantra, it's on, but I come around in on shit. Tell the devil or Lucifer, I'm heating up the universe. Too down to doom the earth. Using that fire to light up Mary and get zooted first. Blowing up so big that they can fit around Jupiter. Ain't nothing stupider. I hope I see some aliens. I'm done with Homo sapiens. Joining the mellow atheists under the influence of Tracy and just who the shadiest. Gray area, who's pertinent or who's extraneous. Never around my circle, expect to be in my radius. Check my diameter, you amateurs. Couldn't lap around a massive planet Earth. Atomize the atmosphere, strategize the stratosphere. Went from racketeer to astronaut in just a half a year.